What's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Gone blog. I'm ultimately probably going to take this video down or send it to my email list because I think I'm being silly and hilarious. But gotta say this. So there was a post that went viral on Twitter talking about Atlanta. You know, nobody in Atlanta seems to have a job. What is everybody doing down here, right? Or where do y'all work? I want to know. And everybody under this woman's post on Twitter was like, scams. They're all full of scams and MLMs. And I mean, they're literally talking huge crap on Atlanta. Now, at the time, I thought it was hilarious. But I still want to address it, right? Because I reposted it. I talked about it on Instagram. And I know it's late. You should be out getting twisted on Halloween. But I can tell you right now, I'm in North Carolina, and I can tell there's just a ton of house parties everywhere. Everybody's at a house party, probably not social distancing. And all I've seen since I've been in North Carolina is a bunch of guns, open carry, and people with no mask on their face. That's what I've seen. I mean, I've seen people no mask in long, long lines to vote. Wow, here. It's been crazy. So look, back to the question. Is Atlanta full of scammers, right? And I laughed on it, but I want y'all to understand that the cost of living is low. I know you're like, no, it's not, Erica. No, it's not. I live in New York. I live in California. I get it. Some of y'all live in New York, California, DC, Baltimore, Maryland, all those places. I understand, baby. I'm not for 1 second discounting the cost of living where you live. But the majority of places in America, majority of them, the rent's like $800 to $1,200. That's why you keep seeing all these posts about make rent $800 again. Well, the average rent right now is $1,200. People don't like that. They don't like that, right? Because a lot of people are still trying to do bare minimum. They ain't trying to do shit, okay? And you know, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to take this down. The reason I bring this up is most people, the reason you're gonna see how everybody's like, housing's gonna crash, housing's gonna crash. No, housing in big cities is gonna take a hit. Housing everywhere else is going to boom. Now, hear me out. There's a great book by Gary Keller called Shift. There's several other. Demographic Shift is another book by, gosh, what's his name? It's a blue cover if you're on Amazon. There's like 5 books I can give y'all about shift, right? Demographic shift. How does the economy shift? And it shifts every time there's a boom and cycle and bust. Now, I'm gonna say this, okay? I'm gonna say this. You have all these people who are out here leaving big cities, yes, and immediately going to the suburbs. Now, many people say, well, ain't nobody want to live in the suburbs. Ain't nobody want to buy a house. It's a renter's nation. You are incorrect. If you survey all these grown-ass people out here, the first thing they want to do is get a house, but for cheaper, right? Every time I watch HGTV, they're trying to show you Houston for $200,000. And most people in California are like, $200,000? Yeah, that's the price. And they don't equate the factor of traffic, all these other factors or whatever. And so what it brings me back to the point about Atlanta is, if your rent is $1,200 and it's a 2-bedroom and it's you and one other guy renting the place, you really are only out of pocket $600 that month. You could make $600. You could make $600 a month, literally Uber driving for 2 weekends, maybe 3 weekends, and have your money to pay your rent, your part of the rent. Now you may say, Erico, that's not everybody. Everybody don't got roommates. A lot of people are living at home with parents, family, extended family, living in these big old houses. If you go south, in the south more frequently, there's really big houses. Now, something you may have saw in, oh gosh, look at these people. They got a damn house party. They got a house party, and it's cars out on the road, y'all. That is, the police are coming to get y'all. Oh, they coming to get them. Okay, so, sorry. You got people in these really big houses, 4 or 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, in Raleigh, North Carolina, roommated up. Charlotte, North Carolina, roommated up. But you can go further out and get a whole house. My cousin's mortgage right now, I think, is $1,400. $1,400. He's got a 4 bedrooms? It's 4 bedrooms, 2 baths in Charlotte, in the suburbs. His mortgage is $1,400. These people, after a certain age, what did they get, 28? All the you think everybody 28 to 32 out here clubbing every weekend, partying every weekend, YOLOing every weekend, texting everybody trying to hook up booty wise on weekend. That's not true. Most people are trying to figure out housing, right? That's what most people are trying to do. They're trying to figure out housing. And so what I'm trying to get people to understand, thank you for the $2 super chat, D. What I'm trying to get y'all to understand is this like housing's crashing. A lot of these people will move more people into their house. They will lower their cost of living. They will move further out. Right now, the house I want to build here in North Carolina, I could get it for $300,000 to $400,000. Downtown Austin, it's a $1.5 million Martin farmhouse. Move it out to Georgetown, I probably could build it for $375,000. I'd have to literally like, connect with the contractors and all that good stuff. But literally, I can get it. It just won't be as cheap. And the problem a lot of people are realizing is to live the life they see on Instagram or Facebook, all these places, a lot of these people live far out. They live far out. So that's why you're going to start, and you'll even see it. You'll see it with my videos some next year. There's a couple Instagrammers and a couple YouTubers, and you'll probably see Brian Chung talk about this. Brian Chung is probably going to be on Netflix here pretty soon, and a couple other places. You'll probably see him soon in some Netflix documentaries. And I just want to make it very clear, when you sign up with Netflix and some of these people, that's why I was such a big, people call me a hater on Monique. But let me be very clear. To even propose a story ideal, a show ideal to Netflix, you have to work through literary publishers. You have to work through different people who are already on the list, right? So you basically have to go ahead and like, hey, can I work with you? And then they're gonna take a cut. Then you take it to Instagram, and then Netflix, and then they're gonna take a cut. So by the time you get it to Netflix, you probably like 40% ownership. So by the time Monique is addressed and people came to her from Netflix to tell her to do a show, she was already having a better deal than half the people you see and half the movies you see that you may consider low budget on Netflix. Because you had to go through, and yes, how do I know this? I've actually tried to see if I could get shows through to Netflix, right? Another way to try to get shows on TV is Roku, right? Is Apple TV. There's ways to do it. There's also ones that do online streaming for you. On the cheap end, it'll be $2,000. To be on all these different platforms, it'll be about $4,000 a month. So you're talking about people spending $4,000 a month, which is what, $48,000 a year, to not only have their show on Apple TV, Roku, all these different streaming platforms. You'll also get a branded website. There's a lot of stuff out there, right? So the point of why I'm bringing this up is people don't realize the cost of things are way lower than they think. For the cost of a credit card, right? A $20K, $30K credit card, these people are buying TV shows, HGTV style TV shows that are online. There are, right now in Austin, Texas, I look for a radio show on Sunday. Sunday is always real estate on Sundays. The guys who have a real estate show on Sundays, they're paying to be on there on Sunday because it's a hot day. Most people are golfing or home on Sundays for talk radio. And a lot of the stuff, like I put together a course talking about no more kingmakers, and I'm really serious in it. I'm going to give out as much information as I possibly can in the course because, and I'm making it cheap because at the end of the day, like, people are hating on me and other people because we stand up and do something, right? Today I got a really creepy long message. Creepy, yo. Like, this person's basically like, man, you're paying your employees low, you're doing this, you're doing that. Instead of being like, hey, congrats, you're hiring people. You're not only hiring people overseas, you're hiring other people, you're hiring contractors, and you're trying keyword, keep your business alive. These people are like obsessive, nerdy haters. Like, how dare you effing talk about your employees and your staff and your stuff. And people are crazy, man. People are freaking crazy out here. So I am to some degree like, yeah, I'm about to pull up Brian Chung and some of these other people and just, hey, go put your videos and your show on, keep your YouTube stuff for sure. But go put your show on Viceland TV. Go put your show on Roku. Go put your show on Apple TV. Why put up with all this drama? Okay, there's a reason I'm painting the second office, which is already painted, and putting it in a studio style. I'm just not gonna really I don't have to do the chitlin circuit and be insulted every day and night in my comments. It's ridiculous. I don't have to put up with it. And the reason I say that is I'm in masterminds where people are paying $7,000, and I mean people that look like us and people that don't look like us, to other people for information that they could have got on YouTube for free, that y'all love saying, or they could have gotten other places. I've seen a lot of people pay $7,000 for courses and masterminds that I'm like, what? Why are you paying this out the rip? You know what I mean? So the demand for education is there, the demand to grow a business is there, but the level of scamming and many people are like, Erica, what do you mean? When I mean scam, I mean someone who's purposely trying to figure out how they can live as cheap as possible without having to put anything into the game, without having to do any work, without having to do anything. Prime example, there is a great YouTuber. I'm not knocking her, shit. But she was taking care of her mother, and this is a common story. I hear this at least once every month via consulting call or via something. She was taking care of her mother, but the brother was taking care of the house payments, and really wasn't none left, just really the taxes in California, which you know that ain't cheap. And the mother and father had left the house to the brother when the mom dies, which is, that's say what you will, parents do that too. And when the mom died, I mean, the mom died, and like less than 2 weeks later, he was like, this house is up for sale. So this YouTuber she's got 180,000 followers, but you learn real quick that she was not making any money. All of a sudden she started changing her channel, she started advertising, she started talking about affiliates, she started doing everything, because she really in the beginning was not making any money. And she has a prepper channel, so that doesn't give it away. You don't know who I'm talking about. So she took her brother sold the house in California, so you know that is not cheap. He sold, it was like $1 million house. You know, when they were kids it probably was worth nothing, but now because of California, he sold this $1 million house, gave her less than 40%. I think he gave her like 30% when it was all said and done of the house sale. So she took her money and went and bought a bando. I'm sorry, it's terrible. It ain't a bando, but it's a rough looking house in Arizona. And she's over there by, I wouldn't say too rough of people, but enough, right? And imagine this woman going from $1 million house in California to a kind of like a bando, right? But it's not a bad bando. It's not bad. She cleaned it up. She made it look nice. I think she bought her house for $57,000. She did some repairs. One of the contractors ran off on her, which I could have told her, baby, that's life. And she did some really good work on it. And she made a video about living under the poverty line. So I just want to clarify, when I talk about numbers on here and why I charge the prices I charge, I'm not trying to have 180,000 subscribers. What is that over there? Okay, I know what it is. I'm not trying to have 180,000 subscribers and then I have nowhere to live. I have no food in my belly, which I eat good. You already know I eat good. But I'm not trying to sit here and live this fake internet life for anyone. I much rather, and I've made this very clear, I much rather go focus on building the real estate side of my portfolio this year, building up, good gracious, military town, y'all. They got their pay. They wildin'. I much rather build up my real estate side of my portfolio, build up my construction side of that business, and work from there. I much rather do that than sit here and be like, I'm just trying to do all this stuff for views. I don't have to. And I want anybody who takes any of my YouTube courses, I want to teach them how to have an actual business so that they're not on the internet doing a GoFundMe all of a sudden because their brother's putting them out of the house less than 2 weeks after their mother's died. How horrible is that? For one, it's horrible. I just want to be that very clear. Like, I feel sorry for the lady. It's horrible. It's horrible anytime your parent dies and you have to deal with your siblings. But two, if your mom's been sick a long time, and I've heard this story a million times, do not expect your sibling to just take care of you. Do not expect them to be 50-50 fair. If they have felt all alone that they were not, that they were putting in more than you, even though you've actually put your whole life on hold to take care of your dying parent, and I've heard this story a million times. Be very clear. Be very clear that, hey, I basically lost out on $70,000 worth of income every year making sure I stayed here to take care of my mom. And so if we're going to sell this house, I'm going to get half. You're going to put me out of a home I've been in 9 years taking care of my mom, I won't have. Now, I'm not saying the woman doesn't have job skills, which some people are saying, and I don't believe that. Being a YouTuber, doing all this stuff, uploading stuff, you have to have skills. But 9 years is a long time out of her life to not be able to get remarried, to not find your own husband or spouse. 9 years is a long time to put your life on hold, making sure your parent is okay. So I would want more than 30% and a bando in Arizona. That's just me. I may be wrong. Maybe I'm the rude one. Maybe I'm wrong, right? But I say that because what's really happening out here to people is it's a wake-up call. And the reason I keep telling people, oh, Erica, these houses gonna crash, these houses gonna crash. It don't matter. In the cities, the price can come down. It's already too high. Oh, these apartments, look at the rent. The rent's lower. I told y'all this for years. They will rather give you 2 months free rent than give you reduced rent. Now look at these numbers. When you go to some of these apartment complexes, they are giving people a free rent for a month or two. And then it's back on as usual. It's back on as usual. They'll give you incentives, but they're not giving it. The rent's not reduced as much as you think. Even people are like, yeah, Manhattan is so low. It's $4,000 freaking dollars. Still, 16,000 empty units, still $4,000 a month. And that's where I'm talking about 500 to 700 square feet. I'm not even talking about the big ones. I'm talking about barely 1,000 square feet, $4,000. When you can go get a whole 1,400 square foot house for $1,200 in rent in Texas, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. This is inevitable. There's a post this guy put, Jason Black or whatever them put up, and I was going to share it on the community tab so y'all can get mad at me some more. He was like, it's hard being a man. It's hard being a man, right? So a lot of people are basically taking very low end jobs and not expecting a lot. And then he said this part that was rude, like sloppy women who will take care of you. But that's just that. It's exactly what it is. People realizing, whoo, it's hard to live in California. It's hard to live over here. Where can I live easier so I don't have to do more? And let's not get it twisted. I don't want all y'all starting businesses. I don't want all y'all out here stressing yourself, getting gray hair from running businesses. I don't want you to do it when people look at you ready for payroll and you don't have payroll, or you get locked out of PayPal and you get locked out of Stripe and your merchants is cutting down. Trust me, I've been through it, all of it. When we tried to report fraud on some of our, report fraud on some of our accounts, they locked all our stuff up. But see, people don't see that side of the business and they don't care. They just care about where my paycheck, where my part. Okay, well, cool. Cool. Remember that. Cool. I mean, I got you, but cool. And that's the thing I'm trying to get y'all to see. Running a business is stressful. You're doing something other people are not doing. And a lot of people rather go, yeah, I'm just going to get a real laid back, easy job, and I'll move into the middle of the country with my wife and my kids because it's just easier. It's just easier to get a cheaper house further away, and live reduced. When I drove from Detroit to North Carolina, there were school buses out left and right, dropping kids off in Virginia and West Virginia. Let me be very clear. These other rural areas, these kids are going to school. It's only these big cities where the kids are not going to school and they're freaking out. Oh my God, what are we going to do? Drive through some of these rural areas. These kids are at school. Because the rural area, that's the number one job. Like school bus drivers get paid $18 an hour. They ain't stopping that. Police officers need to get paid. They not stopping that. They putting these kids on buses and they going to school. And they've already showed stats that it doesn't really change it. It doesn't change the numbers much because these are already rural areas. They weren't having these crazy outbreaks. They just weren't. But see, people don't want to hear that. People want to be right. And I put stuff in the comment section and it always cracks me up. It always cracks me up. The numbers can say something. They'll be like, no, the numbers are wrong, Erica. They're freaking wrong. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, dude. So I just want you to brace yourself is what I'm really saying. I want you to brace yourself. I want you to be ready because real estate, go check out the book, Gary Keller. The book I'm thinking of is Shift. And it has like a graph on the front. I know, don't be scared. It's a graph on the front of the book. And you'll notice a lot of, if I could really do a video, boy, if I could snitch like I want to, because I'm one of those people, I'll snitch. All these people you notice who silently and quietly got real heavy in the real estate. They're not posting as much anymore. They're not all over YouTube anymore. They're just good at getting heavy. They're getting heavy in real estate because that's called a shift. And even when real estate agents, when it's not a hot selling market, they show houses every 2 minutes, even they are getting into wholesaling. Even they are talking to people to see if they want to sell their house. Even they are trying to get their listings up. Trust me, it's a shift. And you either lean into it or you don't. And a lot of these people selling houses in California and New York and Colorado, they can get it for cheaper in another area. And people are like, why are you still talking about rentals, Erica? And people ain't paying their rent. People who? These people in these rural edge towns. And I don't mean these little 5,000 people square per town. I'm talking about 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 people. These people are still working. You saw Wyoming. You saw a lot of these places. These people are still working. I went to go book 7 different Airbnbs. I tried for months all throughout the North Carolina mountains so our family could have a unique trip instead of the one they have. Booked out all the way to April. Oh, Erica, everything's crashing. Why the hell are hundreds of Airbnbs already booked out to April then? Not cheap ones. At Outer Banks. Whole house is booked up for almost a year. Our family had to push our winter vacation to next year because we're like, there's all booked up. They're not closed because of COVID. They're booked up. We literally reached out and said, hey, listen, if you guys are closed because of COVID, we'll pay extra. Oh, no, honey, we're booked up. Every single Airbnb post. No, honey, we're not closed because COVID. We're booked up. You just can't book till this time frame. If a client drops, we'll put the listing back out. And there's a little thing on Airbnb if you put your name in the part of basically to notify you if this house gets empty. We went on a house that got empty. I checked the email 4 hours later, that house was gone. So I love when people tell me everything is falling. Everything's falling, Erica. No, we live really cheaply down south. Really cheaply. So the Airbnb for the whole house, that's $250 a night to $400 a night. Somebody from New York, somebody from Ohio, somebody from Pennsylvania, Philly, they're like, peace out. I'll come book that for a while. Again, I mean, I could do a whole hour video of me just showing you, I have several categories on my Airbnb just listed out, hundreds of houses. They're booked up till April. They're booked up. They've been like that for months. It just is. And so people want to convince you the sky's falling. I'm just going to wait till the sky falls. Let me be very clear to you. Every single real estate mastermind, seminar, overnight, everything I've ever been to, every real estate agent that's been in the business for 20 plus years, the worst thing you can do is wait. Oh, I'm just going to wait, Eric. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait till this magical day of this magical number. Let me be very clear. If you're not in the market, now what do I mean in the market? I mean like calling people, constant contact, following up, kind of seeing the price flow of houses. You will wake up one day and be like, what? Oh my God, all the houses changed and I missed it. I told y'all for a while, I was just looking on realtor.com for all the Austin houses. And as soon as they would drop to about 185 in the edges of Austin, I'm talking about the edges, going towards Manor and going towards Pflugerville. They drop. The next day you go in there, everything was pending. Everything's pending. Everything's locked up. Ask agents. This is not just like, well, Erica, you're an individual person. No, go ask real estate agents in certain markets. They will tell you. As soon as there's a price drop, bloop, contracts galore. So there's people watching, hundreds of people watching for a particular price. And so whenever people try to tell me, well, I'm just going to wait till this time, there are going to be deals on the floor. No, first of all, there'll be bird dogs. Then there'll be wholesalers. Then there'll be the flippers. And then there'll be you. That's how it's always been. Those are people who every day they're driving for dollars. There was some kid that Derek posted on his Instagram. Kid was driving for dollars, taking pictures, filling up his deal machine app. His car broke down. Right? So then he was just going through. He lost his job, his car broke down. And then finally he had another deal, like 2 or 3 deals fall through. And then had a $10,000 check and a $20,000 check. What happens if you get 20K right now? What could you do with your life? Put it in the comments. What could you do right now if you got 20K? Now, I'm not telling everybody, oh, rent out wholesale because, that's silly too. Because the majority of people are going to make their money via jobs. But let me be very clear. Over the years, people can increase their income, but if they don't increase their investments, they're still going to be ass out. That's why everybody's freaking out about middle management losing their jobs. People got into middle management and got bigger cars and bigger houses. They didn't get bigger retirement packages. They didn't get bigger investment portfolios. They didn't go buy a bunch of rentals. Not all, some. The people who wanted to get out of middle management got out. The people who put it two to two together, like, oof, there's a lot of headache for not a lot of pay. Or what they call the golden handcuffs. You can go Google all the articles you want on that. Those people are effed. And they better be putting together a portfolio right now and figure out companies they want to work with. Because we're in a big shift. But this whole motion and people trying to convince y'all that, you know, everything's going to crash. Listen, there's going to be a lot of crashing for sure in different marketplaces. Don't get it twisted. Right now, I just went to 2 different cities and they build like 3 Planet Fitnesses. And you would go, Planet Fitness? Why are they? That's cheap. You're only paying 10, 20 bucks a month. That's the whole business model for Planet Fitness. You're going to get 800 to 2,000 people paying 10 bucks a month. How many of them are going to really show up to the gym on a consistent basis? This has been their business model for years. And I'm not trying to ignore y'all. I just wanted to get this out while I'm up early a little bit. But I just want to be very clear, like, listen. If you want to do 2 inches more than most people, you can win. It's going to be a headache. There's going to be a little stressful time. But if you want to do just 2 inches more than most people, your life will be very different. I'm meeting people, their whole goal in life is to figure out how to get $500 rent and go hang out and party every weekend. And they're in their fucking 30s. It's exhausting. So if you meet a man or woman and they got a little bit of brain up here to realize, hey, that ain't it, right? You better latch on that person and make it work and roll down the road with them. So commercial real estate is getting crushed. Oh, for sure. Like, even the buildings I'm in, the guy's like going crazy because he's like, oh, the city sucks. I can't get my other buildings built. And I'm like, you want too much for them. You want 250 when if these buildings are 150,000, no prob. That makes sense. But 250, you're smoking crack, dude. Good luck on that. Uber driving is a real rat. It really is. But so is, let's just be very honest. Calvin Sexton said Uber driving is a real rat race. But that's for someone who is thinking. Someone who's just out of money right now, but they got a nice car sitting in their driveway and they doing nothing. They better get to driving. They better get to Uber Eats, DoorDashing. They better be delivering packages. They better be figuring out every single way they can make that car make some money. Because if they are at that point, that car will go away too. They can't make that car payment. That car will go away too. So I never knock people. I just want you to understand why you driving though. You know, Brian from Mobile Home Estates, Mobile Home Elite, he was listening to podcasts, listening to seminars, and people literally told him in the car, turn that mess off. They didn't want to hear it. Right? Because most people want to be asleep. This whole presidency, I'm not trying to get flagged. This whole presidency right now got a lot of people awake like, whoa, that guy's not classy. He's not super educated. He just got some money. He in the White House. What? He keep having multiple wives and multiple children? And he in the White House? See, it's throwing them off. Because they see how important money really is. Like all these titles and all this, I'm college educated and I'm a this and I'm a that. And okay. In certain circles, that's all that matters. But at the end of the day, you could be a PhD, but if you make a 30K a year, what does that matter? Nothing. There's this thing my friend used to tell me all the time when I was younger, when I was going to college. And he said, Erica, I know tons of broke smart people. And at the time, I didn't get it, but they kept saying it. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, you can tell me this. But now I know. There's a lot of people out there feeling like they're right. They're a man, and they have a right to say whatever they want to say on the internet because they're a man. And their life has no results. Their life has no results. They ain't got no house. They ain't got no car. They don't live well. They don't eat well. They don't sleep well. Their health is not great. Then what does all this matter? You gotta have some kind of purpose and mission in life. And the segment of people that we're seeing right now, the ocean and sea segment is happening where people are like, I'm just trying to live cheap, Erica. Can you show me where the $500 rent is? So I can sometimes do a little bit of work just so I can pay my rent and then live to bullshit some more later this week, right? And that's where they are. And we have to leave them there and let them play on Facebook all day. And then you have a segment of people over here in the middle who are like, all right, I want a little bit more. I want to invest a little bit. I want to have a little bit of something to my name, but I don't want to go too crazy. No problem. You right here. Then you have these people over here like, yo, you can get anything. You can buy anything. You can start anything. You can go be on TV tomorrow. You can pay $800 and have, I think it's 87 commercials in Charlotte Regional News online on TV. Not online, on TV. $800 on TV. Late night commercials. Now people make fun of late night commercials, but your boy Kevin Trudeau made $52 million off late night commercials. There's a reason. Everybody's paying all this money, millions of dollars, to be on the internet on every single ad you see, because internet's cheap. But give it a minute, that TV gonna be even cheaper in a minute. There are some people with YouTube channels that get more viewers than some TV shows. But guess who still gets that shine? That TV show. Oh, she's on TV One. She's on Clio TV. She's on Channel One, Urban One. Listen. I just saw this thing earlier today. The Smollett family, we always make fun of Jesse Smollett because the whole rope around his neck craziness. But all the other siblings he has, about 8 of them, they all on TV right now. Sister Judy, she's on Lovecraft Country. His other 2 siblings, Jazz and Jeff, have an HGTV-like show on Clio TV. Never even heard of Clio TV. Found it all out today, was like, this is in Silver Springs, Maryland. See, this is the stuff y'all don't know, that there's black-owned TV channels all over the place. Just ain't never heard of them, right? And I came across it on my mom's TV, and I'm like, did you ever heard of this channel? She's like, no. They were cooking food. It was beautiful food. Very healthy. A black couple, and I'm like, what is this channel? And it's Clio TV is for women of color, which is interesting, but I'll leave that alone. But there's all these opportunities to be on Roku TV, to be on people's smaller TV channels, to be bigger level. But you would have never known that all the other Smollett children are on TV, because you just heard about Jesse. You just heard about Mr. Smollett from Empire, right? Because he had the biggest, at the time, right? Other girls probably bigger right now, Lovecraft Country. But they working. And they making money. And I just want y'all to understand there's this big wave of distinction coming up. That people just want to, if you really want to try, it's unlimited. Right now, one of our friends I haven't talked to in forever, and I'm going to call her associate, not disrespectfully. I found out she was on 7 different crime shows. And she was an actress. And I was like, wait, what? She started pulling out her reel, went on IMBD or whatever. I thought she was a struggling actress in California. She actually been on tons of TV shows. But that's just it. You know what I mean? People that want to try are going to try, and people that want to make it are going to make it. And I get it. The sky's falling. Your stocks are falling. Everything's falling. Like, baby, some of y'all are going to have to get out here and go to real work. It means service businesses in some capacity. I remember when downtown Austin was 300 square feet, ancient history. Yeah, man. What up? You saw it firsthand. What you saw? People making millions from mastermind. Listen, honey. Listen. Let me be very clear. This week was a long week because I was not in the office. I was in Cleveland, Detroit, North Carolina. I'm traveling. People are like, oh, I need stuff. And what I realized is like, baby, like, you're going to have to wait. Everybody who needs something right now, you're going to have to wait. It doesn't happen on your shake. I get it. Lots of people are home and ain't doing nothing. So they think everybody should be moving like this. You should be doing this, Erica. No. No. We had a death in our family out here. No. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna live a nice, long, and fulfilling life. I'm not gonna be out here, better do it when I want you to do it. No. I didn't start business to do that. No. We didn't start business to do that. No. And I just want you to understand, the power is there. This right now, you're not gonna. People are like, oh, everything's going bad. Again, you can shadow ban people's channels, but you cannot shadow ban a Roku, an Apple TV. You cannot shadow ban billboards. You cannot shadow ban radio ads. You cannot shadow ban someone who can use hundreds of platforms. Right? I just watched a movie on Hulu. People were trashing it, and then I saw the reviews online were all fours. Well, it could have been deeper. It could have been better. It could have been. Never listen to somebody who's gonna tell you how to do something they ain't never done shit in their life. Never. Never. People trying to tell you how to do something they have never done. Don't do that. Even if it's me, if y'all ask me about certain things, I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I will only tell you about stuff I've done and how it impacts me and if it's worth doing. I'm being very clear. Like someone was like, oh, you need to give more numbers, right? And I was like, what? And I just have to relay it back to contractors. A lot of y'all get online and ask people for their contractors, who doing this, how you get drivers, how you get this, what's the connection to that. Baby, if you really want to know, you'd pay for their time. No one's going to give out their favorite contractor to you or their favorite whoever for free. They're just not going to do it because it doesn't make sense. It crashed their own business. It's crazy. That's crazy. So anyway, I'm going to read some more of your comments and then I'm going to kind of wrap it up because I just think it's an interesting week I'm having. There's a person in ATL who started a fund and is living off of it. Well, K coaching, it depends. I'm not going to go there, but you know, if they set it up in the paperwork that they can live off of it, then they will. They will. I mean, people don't want to hear that, but they will. Brittany Gates, you're pretty close, yeah. Number 1, Houston. Number 2, Austin. Number 3, Dallas. Number 4, North Carolina. What is that about? I don't know. Yeah, they do in Baltimore, Maryland, for sure. I love how somebody said I live in Baltimore as well, for sure. Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, there's lots of fraudulent stuff that happens out here, and people think they're getting over on you and doing stuff to you, but you're like, it'll catch up with them. You know, here's my thing. Could I ever go back to working a job? No. No. It would have to be literally like I had a stroke or foot got cut off. But even then, I would literally Here's the thing what I want you to understand. Once you learn how to run a business, like the basics, let me be very clear. I used to not understand why so many people have started business all the time. They're starting so many businesses. Once you learn the basics, you have the business bank account, you have the system for you to get paid, and you know how to connect with either consumers or other businesses, it's like you could do it every day in your sleep. You could do it every day in your sleep. You could literally go out here, slap a sticker on your truck, and go run a business and get clients and get 10K a month. You could literally reinvent yourself on the internet, come back online, talk about your reinvention story, and make money. You could literally there's a girl we talked about in our YouTube class who husband left her for a Brazilian woman after 21 years of marriage, and she is raking in the YouTube money, crying on the internet, and having product Amazon labeling, like she just has hundreds of products. She private labels and sends to Amazon. Once you figure it out, and I really mean this, you also have to know your temperament. Some people can't sleep at night knowing that they have to pay staff, pay payroll. I really know people who almost have heart attacks, especially with this virus going on. And they're like, Erica, I just can't. I have to get out of this business, or I have to do A, B, and C. And I'm like, go do it. For your peace of mind and your heart, for sure. But there's people I know right now, like, they would never go back to a job. Never. I'll go out here and knock door to door for painting. Before I do that, I will go out here and knock door to door. Y'all don't understand me. It's a million ways. Once you get to a certain level, you don't fall off. You just have a velocity of money issue. Let's be very clear. Like, a velocity of money issue is, we've had several issues between the trucking, between the YouTube, accounts getting locked out, fraud alerts getting locked up. Our bank was like, hey, what's going on? We're like, that's our trucker. Our trucker. We are paying for services. Like, you pay for services over the internet. Right now, I'm going to tell you how bad it is out here. And we're talking about ATL and the scamming and stuff. All the Love's gas stations, you won't see this on their website, but all the Love's gas stations, the pilots, they keep conveniently not being able to take your card over the phone. You'll call with your card over the phone. Oh, it declined it. What are you talking about? We have hundreds of dollars in the account. We have thousands of dollars in our account. No, ma'am, it declined it. Literally, basically, they want you to have the Love's card product. Pilot wants you to have a pilot card product. Flex and Wex, all these people want you to have their client product. Why? Because as we're going into this downturn, they can verify that. But the thousands of dollars in fees they're paying from all these banks in the United States, they're fighting it tooth and nail right now. So you'll call and you'll pay over the phone. Oh, yeah, it declined. I don't know what happened. Well, shit, ma'am, I'll Zelle my driver the money and let him pay for it. And then they pay for it. And they're like, I don't know what's happening. And somebody just put me, like, look, honey, they're trying to make everybody who walks through this door and wants to pay for truck services have a Love's card that has a credit line on it, or they will have a pilot card that has a line on it. That's it. That's what they want, and they're going to get it out of y'all. But yeah, it's stressful. There's a medical school doctor told me he's moving to Midwest from Miami. Yeah. Cal, I get it. Everybody's saying New Yorkers aren't leaving. They're moving to suburbs. No, sir. IRS documents saying they are leaving. 1 million people have left the state financially. The IRS and all these accountants have no reason to lie. Oh, no, they're moving to suburbs. No. Their address says New Jersey, PA, Connecticut. They out. They gone. I know everybody wants to fight this so bad. You can literally go see on Real Estate Trends. Go look it up. Don't believe me. Go look on Real Estate Trends. What's the website? Real Estate Trends. Philly's #1. I do know that. Philly's #1. New Jersey got a bump. Even though New Jersey always has like people leaving, it got a bump because people are trying to exit. But you have people in Philly leaving to New Jersey to get more houses and more property. It's crazy. So it's like Philly #1, New Jersey #2, #3 is Connecticut, #4 is like Houston, #5 is Nashville, #6 is Charlotte. I mean, essentially, when they start doing the trends, now this is not all people from New York. This is just people moving, period. Real estate trends, relocation trends. #1 is Philly. It's up there. They are getting out of Dodge as fast as they possibly can. I know people want to hate me. No, Erica, no. Yes, everybody's lying to their accountant. Everybody in America is lying to their accountant. They're lying to the IRS. They really aren't leaving New York. They just made up a post office box and a whole house address in another state. Okay, cool, sure. Cool, sure. King Mountain NC Casino resort will be up and running by spring 2020. Really? King Mountain, add it to the list. You're gonna start seeing more and more casinos. I know. Everybody thinks because it's like it's raining cats and dogs in their city, it must be like that everywhere. Wow, congratulations. Moving to Dallas. Learned the lesson when I moved from Midwest to the Southwest. Uh-oh. My Airbnb is booked up and I'm loving it. Congratulations, Mr. Price. Housing prices in NYC need to fall. They will. I mean, at some point they will here. People have no idea there are so many people doing well and better than people think. Successful Ladies Live. That part. See, the people out here like, everybody must be scamming. No, some people literally, I tell you, there's a man I remember in Round Rock. He lived in Round Rock before he got married recently. He literally had 2 rentals and got out the military and put the VA one on his final house when he got out. He was living off the 2 rental properties. And people were like, well, he only getting like $700 per after everything's paid and done, because they were duplexes in Round Rock. And one was a regular house, one was a duplex. I said, think about that. He getting $700 after everything's said and done from both properties. That's $1,400. I know you're like, well, that ain't no money. You're also talking about a man who's getting some money for his GI Bill to go to school. And he's got a VA house with 4 bedrooms in Round Rock, renting all the rooms out. He didn't have to work. And everybody was like, well, when you gonna get your job? He wasn't stressed or pressed. He was like, well, probably after Duncan moves out, we're going to focus on getting something at Dale. He never was pressed. It wasn't until he decided he wanted to get married, was dating a young lady, and was like, all right, I got to get back out there, get real, get serious. Finish my school, get serious. People are living better because the cost of living is low. When you have a home, not an apartment, I know people hate me right now. When you have a home and you buy groceries for months, which a lot of you should be doing because some of your positions you're at. You need to be buying up, stock up your whole deep freezer plus then. You can live relatively well. You can live relatively well. Cal said he moved to New Jersey. Congrats. 2020 has been a blessing. You became a licensed real estate agent. Yeah, so here's the thing. You can go right now and Google on YouTube all the real estate agent channels for Texas that you want. Go crazy. You're going to see a lot of new people who are new agents, and they're still making money, whether it's apartments or housing. And also that same thing with wholesaling. I keep telling y'all, there are 17 million vacant homes in America. Well, just while I've been here, I've drove around and seen houses that I'm like, well, let's just put that in Deal Machine or something. Let's get them a postcard. Let's find out who they are. Let's get them on a voiceless ring mail. And just because I know the system enough, there's somebody there that wants to get rid of it. And if I go back to Texas, my uncle or my cousin can go in there with their hard hat on and go look at it and take pictures for me. Good pictures. I don't mean like the way men take pictures at construction sites where they give you 5 pictures. No, I need like 50 pictures, Jerome. Like 50 pictures. So. If I had 20K, I'd buy liquidated returns. I'd buy liquidation returns. Oh, and try to sell. Yeah, I mean, people do that. Down payment. Put half in the stocks, half in open up e-commerce, sir. Okay. Tech is a deflationary tool mixed with that. FHA 3.5 it is. Buy my own truck. Okay. I got 20K in lottery tickets. My biggest thing is like, everybody's like, oh, I'll just buy a truck or buy a business. It's not a business in a box. Like, I'm gonna put that in there's a bunch of courses that I had sat off to the side that I'm gonna put in one big thing and just sell it on Black Friday and you guys can have at it or whatever. But literally, I know so many people who are like, yeah, I'm just gonna get a truck and do this. And I'm like, if I tell you all the different truck stories where just this weekend our friend had called a guy, he went MIA and he was like, okay, something's wrong. And then he sent somebody to go get the truck, and the guy goes to get the truck and the guy's still in the truck. Oh, I lost the key. He's like, well, hey dude, we're gonna put you out and we're gonna call police. And the first police to the scene, don't put him out. Oh, well, you gave him his keys, it's authority. So then he calls the DOT and the police again. DOT comes out like, oh baby, you can come out this truck. And apparently the guy was on meth, had meth in his wallet. Was talking about he didn't know where the key was to the truck. They found the key in the truck, and the police found the meth in the wallet. Old boy's going to jail. Going to jail for resisting arrest and the meth. And let me be very clear, he won't drive no more. That's certain. And that guy that was owning the company did try to get him into a hotel, try to get him in a nice space, but that's just how crazy it is. You're dealing with the most crazy factor in this is a person physically driving a vehicle. I completely understand 100% now why companies go find these young men and go put them through truck driving school and then go, you owe me for 2 years. Because they're between the insurance payments you paying for them, being a young experienced driver. Yeah, I completely understand why companies do that now. Completely. Even on here, when I said I'm hiring foreigners, I'm trying my best to go get foreign from overseas workers to come drive my trucks. Someone was like, oh, you're a Republican, a dirty Republican. You dirty, horrible person. I'm like, I'm a horrible person for offering people jobs and trying to return my investors their money by the trucks making money? How am I a horrible person? You guys better get out of La La Land. Better get out of it quick. And you got to understand, anytime you have a business, your most iffy part is people. Do you even trade, bro? Uber puts money in the pocket while I build my mobile notary business. Congratulations. That's what I'm talking about. That demo needs to walk in the ocean and keep walking. People underestimate me so much for over the years. Most people are assuming are doing very well. Yeah. I want to feel safe where I live, so I know I have to spend more to do that. Yeah, I mean, it's a combination. It's a combination of spending more money, but also moving further out. I mean, the smaller the community or the under 50,000 effect of the community, you pretty much have a feel of where's safe, where's not safe, who's on the local police force, who's on the city council. I'll come down there. And that's really the problem. People get to a point where they just basically want to be a slug in their house and get paid. And that's where the scamming comes in. Well, I'm going to join this multi-level marketing and I'm going to do this. Now, not that multi-level marketing is a scam, but it has scam capabilities. Whenever people try to give you something that sounds too good to be true without any work, I'm like, the amount of work people put in these multi-level marketing businesses, they could go promote and post their own stuff and make money. When I found out how much it was to run commercials on TV at night, how much to put radio on, how much to, like, when I had an issue getting on people's podcasts, I was like, I just run ads over top of your podcast. No problem. You know what I mean? So there's a million ways. Buckhead is dangerous? Is Buckhead dangerous? Kevin Trudeau's in jail. He is in jail, baby. Those debt cures got him. YouTube is deflationary. Tyler, expand more on it. There's a whole word about TV versus the internet. 500 rents in dangerous area. Well, it depends. $500 rents in the middle of nowhere, or in sometimes sketchy places. Like, it just depends. Like, there's places in Round Rock, Texas, you can get $800 rent. It's not sketchy. It's just a bunch of school teachers over there, or a bunch of cops, or a bunch of food workers. I've seen that. Oh, yeah, the whole Smollett family been in the business for 20 plus years, since they were all kids. Yeah. Bounce TV, black owned. Yep, that's true. Thank you guys for 311 people being here tonight. Thanks for visiting. And there's 100 likes. Thank y'all for playing like. Yeah, Facebook's been convenient. I mean, like, let's be honest. YouTube is the Undertaker, right? And everybody's trying to take down the Undertaker. And it's hard to do, right? So you either work within the system, but you also remind yourself you're in someone else's wheelhouse. They can put you out of the wheelhouse any day. That's why I'm always telling you, get on the email list. They may put me off tomorrow, who knows? They may just take the channel away. You never know. It happens. And so I always get people to understand, like, this is an amazing platform. You've got millions of eyes out here, but you still have TV is still a force to be reckoned with. It's still a force. And people try to act like it's not, but yeah, there's a lot of young kids who are very impressionable on TV, so. I'm in Carolina at the current time, but I live in Texas full time. You don't have to pay. I hate people saying that. You have to pay your way with Forex. No, you don't. You actually can go learn. You can pay for one class with Forex and then learn. Everybody wants to do multi-level marketing stuff, but no, we'll just leave it there. It's all about proximity and giving opportunities as combo. Yep. No, you don't necessarily need any kind of certificate as an owner. One of the biggest things Texas complains about is plumbers and roofers. You pretty much could slap a sign on the side of your truck, go out to somebody's house and say you do roofs tomorrow. And this is where a lot of people go, well, illegal immigrants are cheating in Texas. And no, old boy is just willing to go out there and knock doors and go get on top of somebody's roof. Are you? Right? He's willing to go paint houses. He's willing to go do fencing. He's willing to go do a lot of those projects. Are you? This is why I just showed an article on, I don't know if I posted it in community tab, but I definitely posted it on Facebook and Instagram. It showed that Hispanic people were like increasing in income and assets rapidly. And I was like, you know why? Businesses. Who is gonna make money right now off of real estate? Not just agents. It's the guy who can fix things. If you can fix things for the next 10 years, you're gonna make money. Because not only are you gonna be fixing things, you're gonna be closing houses up, you're gonna be patching them, boarding them, you're gonna be fixing roofs that have been vacant. Again, I've got a property. I think a video's coming. I have to ask Peter when he's going to be done with it. We went to Cleveland. Woo! I was almost like, yo, sell this house or burn it down on fire. The guys came in. Yes, they're Hispanic. Don't care. They've already started working on it. That house looked like a whole nother house. I was like, is that the house we just looked at? And when y'all see the video, y'all gonna talk bad about me. You'll be like, Erica, you bought a bando. But the previous contractor tried to jiff me. And again, he was okay. He was my color, and that's this part that makes me sad. Because I'm like, I'm trying to do good business, trying to work with people, trying to do the right thing. Maurice Anderson said everybody is scamming in Atlanta, just like everybody's doing credit repair. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I got so far away from credit repair when old boy wanted to not be a partner anymore. I was like, cool, no worries. I'll just stop talking about it completely. Because you have certain clients. The more you charge, this is why people get angry. Why are you charging so much for your classes? The lower you charge, the worse customer service interactions you will have in your whole life. Where people are like, you should make miracles happen for $12. If you don't get out of my face. Do you know how many people have gone to the website and it clearly says it's an ebook? They bought it and you're like, well, I expect a book to be shipped to my house. I'm going to refund you because you're crazy. You don't go to Amazon and buy an ebook and be like, where are they going to ship the real book at? If you want the physical copy, you go buy the physical copy. It's just not that serious. You just get bad customer service. You get bad interactions, bad customer service. So when I see people out here like, hey, I'm gonna go hit a quick lick, I'm gonna go start credit repair, I go, your goal should be for people to be educated about how credit works and how it can be helpful. Credit repair is not for you to go out there and be like, well, I'm gonna get me a new car, I'm gonna get me a house. Listen, you can get a car with bad credit. You could, or you could pay cash for a car. See, people don't want to hear that part, but in order for them to pay cash, they'd have what? A decent job where it's giving them enough income so they can save their money and turn around and buy a car cash. I mean, it's a circular conversation. And the only reason I think, people are like, well, Erica, credit affects if you can get a job. This is true. It does. It affects almost everything you do now. But here's the key. Most of these people are not trying to get a corporate level C job. Most of the people who are trying to get credit repair are not trying to go work in the C-suite and they're doing a clearance check on you. Let's miss me with the bull ass now. Miss me with it. Because I literally worked in the apartment industry where engineers making 12 to 15K a month had shitty credit, had evictions, stuff happened, and guess what? They would just pay another extra month's rent and go on and move into an apartment and keep it moving. That's really the trick. Like the trick to, if you move to anywhere in Texas and you come to Texas with bad credit, first I'm gonna say that's a tough decision. But if you do, the only market that you should be able to comfortably move into is a brand new construction apartment, because there is something in, essentially, we have to fill up the units, because in order for the company to get more money from their construction draw to finish the apartment complex, it has to show that tenants are basically lining up for this, that it's a necessity, that it has to be completed, right? Because they're not trying to build ghost projects, and the bank's not trying to give you more money for you to go on and build more apartments where they're still empty, right? You have to show there's people moving in there. And so that's a big thing in Texas. So if you come to Texas, and think, well, I have kids, I want to move into a house. Got bad credit? No. You'll go through, I've seen companies literally tell engineers who came from California with an eviction for a house, oh no, unless you want to pay 2-3 months rent on this house, you're not moving in. So how many people are going to move from another state, have let's say the house rent they rent out is like $1,800 a month, have that times 2 and a deposit, so 3, and the first month's rent? Not many people. And a lot of them, sometimes they don't as much anymore, but they used to take credit cards, but you can swipe for it, right? Because they would get charged fees. That's why they don't let you swipe for it anymore. They want you to get it straight from your bank account. And then that way you can't claim no fraudulent activity on your credit card. You can't get them with no transaction backs, because that messes your company up. I promise you, I know personally. So that's why when people tell me about all this, oh, the sky's falling, it's everything's bad, real estate's so bad. I'm like, okay. Why do you have master plan communities here in Texas and parts of North Carolina starting more and more? Because they're tired of seeing California. If you look in California, you'll see $1 million house and there's homeless people right at the corner. You will not have that in a master plan community. Inside of master plan communities and even around the corner from our office, I told you, they're labeled private road. Yellow sign. Why? If you're homeless or camping out around there on that private, you're going to jail. You're going to jail. They've built up those master plan communities and they built up a lot of these areas so that if you think you're going to lounge and hang out around there, you're going to jail. That's just all there's to. You're going to jail. Dave Sincere, this is my first time on your channel. I love your live and content. You guys subscriber. Well, thank you for coming in. Erica, is it scamming season? Oh, honey, it's been scamming season all 2020. Listen, when I talk about all these people that are going to go to jail for PPP, I mean, they ain't got enough room in jail for the people. Jails, you can go look this up. This is a true article. Since 1995, jails right now in America are empty as they've ever been. That's why this whole BS about, are you a law and order person? The people out here are breaking the law. Jails are as empty as they've ever been. They are the lowest they've ever been since 1995. What was going on in 1995? It was kind of the back end of what? 3 strikes, you're out. A lot of those men are out now, coming out of jail because they're old now. Because they put them in there for 20, 30, 40 years. Hopefully some of them have their mom still alive because there's not many places for them to go. There's even people in the chat talking about, and in some of my groups talking about they're building halfway houses. And people are upset about it. And I'm like, you put people in jail. You have nowhere for them to go. Housing isn't cheap. Jobs are not really grateful for people who have bad records. So halfway houses are a great way for that person to pay $200 rent for a room in a big old house and actually get back into American society. And it's a win-win for the landlord. It's a win-win for group homes. It's a win-win. Oh, it's bad out here. That's why I sit here and try to talk about LinkedIn, because I realized so many people did not know what LinkedIn was, and they were talking about 6-figure jobs. There ain't no jobs out here. I'm like, you're not even on LinkedIn to be in the ecosphere, the ecosphere of where those people would be offering those jobs, where recruiters look every day. No. Oh yeah, I saw that. I was gonna go to Vermont and drive into New York for the mountains. No, they tripping. Good night, Jessica. Zillow does. I'm really not going to do a trucking course. I really am not. I really want, my legacy and who I am has always been businesses and getting people to understand that business is just a piece of paper. And you can translate this into anything. You can do a 180 and just do nothing but real estate for the next year. It's like once you understand the fundamentals of business, and that's why I get a little exhausted when I'm sitting here like, get QuickBooks, get business bank account, get an LLC, and people are like, no, Erica, no. And I'm like, these are just basics. These are just very 1, 2, 3, 4. You get these and then you can go do anything else. A lot of people I've met in trucking took their truck money and bought real estate with it, or took their truck money because they had high volumes of income coming through their account. Some banks overlooked their credit scores so them to get loans. Yeah, you had that going on. And so a lot of times you see these families who had this trucking company for 50 years, but really you look at where's the real money for the family. It's in truck parking. It's in owning a bunch of trailers and having government contracts. It's in owning land. It's in having real estate. And so for me, I'm always a person like, okay, well, where's the true source of the money? Doing YouTube is fun. Making money on YouTube is fun. Paying these taxes ain't fun. But where's the true source of the wealth? And if you even break it down to like these little nowhere towns where it'll be 5 to 10 families own everything in the town. Every time there's a little raggedy broke up house, they're like, I wouldn't buy that. Guess what? There's a family in town who will buy that, put money in it, even slowly or quickly, and then rent it out to other tenants. I drove by this area off of basically there used to be an old factory, and the factory's been now remodeled, and U-Haul owns part of it, but it's an old factory there. Old. It closed in 1992. And across the street are these little houses that used to be the original houses that where people lived across from the original factory, and people were still living in them. Old people, but still living in them. And right now 2 of them are being like remodeled, like the sheetrock, new roof, new windows, remodeled. And guess what? Somebody coming to town or somebody lives near here are gonna move in them houses and think none of it. And that's why I'm telling you, like, the same family probably that owned that factory still owns some of those houses over there, and are still making money to this day. Real estate is a long-term play. Owning land, I get so much pushback when people are like, what you want to own land for? That don't make no sense. And I'm like, that cringes my soul, because I'm like, I don't know, I guess you just expect to exist. This doesn't make any sense. When I called for Marriott, the hotel called me talking about a meth head. Whoa. Renting is horrible, hard to find quality people. Depends on the city. Depends on the property. I will tell you, our family had a lot of, and this is kind of why I always tell people about renting in military towns. Yes, you have the turnover, but you could considerably have the consistency of someone getting paid and are reasonably not trying to tear stuff up. But also you get retirees who are several of our family's properties right now have retirees from New York who've lived in those houses for 10 years now. They really don't ever plan on buying a house. They've always rented in New York. They've come down here now to retire, to be closer to their kid in the military. Their kid gets out of the military, still stays in North Carolina, and they decided to stay too. And have a little house that's cheap. They pay $800 rent. They're happy to stay here. They always talking about New York and how they gonna go back, but they're like 72 years old now. You're like, okay, well, if you're gonna go, honey, I want to go. So you sometimes get lucky. Wealth Builder, I don't know what you're talking about. Let me know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. People's greed and laziness is because why scams will continue to work. Yeah. Thank you, Art Banaka, for the $5 super chat. Your knowledge is greatly appreciated. Please stop adding me in the comments. Okay. Hopefully I have my HVAC contractor license by the end of the year. Let's get this trade money. Why are there so few tradesmen on YouTube? Fallout, they're so busy. Even Will, the T-Will, the lineman on here, he has a channel. A lot. And then there's a couple young boys I've started noticing they're posting their stuff of doing construction, but a lot of times they're busy. There's no one to film it or edit it. Property preservation is about to skyrocket. Oh, yeah. How do you vet contractors so you don't get scammed? Ask for websites. Ask for pictures of their previous properties. Like, people who are proud of their work, they take pictures of their work before and after. And they take pictures not only for themselves, but also to prove to the person that they did the job for that the work is completed. Like, I don't pay no more now. You have to show me pictures that the work is completed. I'm not paying nobody. And so they should have they should have hundreds of pictures. They should be able to open their little phone and show you pictures like this in their hand, like this, or email you pictures. They should be able to show you lots of their work. And also people who are running a business and people who are running a hustle. People who are running a business, now this is a common thing people do. Oh, I'm gonna need a little work so I get my workers working, and I'm gonna need some money to get supplies. Cut that. That works on little old people who don't know no better. But you should be able to tell your grandma and your grandpa, I will go purchase the supplies at Home Depot, and you can, and get them delivered to my house, and then you can do the work from there. You need to write down what you need, right? And see, people don't want to do that. They're like, oh, yeah. A lot of the contractors, if they have a legit business, they already have a Home Depot card. They got a Lowe's card. They got an account. They know they can purchase their own supplies, their own stuff. They should be able to purchase all that and be able to pay their contractors for the first week of work by the time they ask you for something. 25% down is common. 25% down is common. But more than that, Scam. If somebody asks for 50% down, run. Be like, I'm gonna call around because I feel uncomfortable with that amount. Right? And then you can actually give them contracts to be like, if you don't finish in time, you owe me $500 a day. It's a lot you can do. No one. I don't recommend anybody for that crap. Paid $400 to get my yard cut out a few years ago. Huge yard, and Sally had an elderly mother helping him. I was like, what the heck? Dang. They needed that $400 for to cut that yard. Listen, I paid $300 to get my yard cut in like up north, and they didn't even rake the leaves. And I was like, what is this shit? I'm not ever paying $300 for you to cut the grass. Well, you didn't tell us to rake the leaves, mofo. What? Well, we took the debris out the yard. Yeah, but leaves are debris. Rake them things up. For $300, you need to rake or have a leaf blower blow them to one part of the yard. Like, the work ethic people are displaying is garbage. So people basically are telling you they want to make $500 for doing nothing, doing bare minimum, and you should be grateful they're doing bare minimum. No, my nephew rakes leaves, cuts yards down here in the South for like $60 to $80, and people love trying to tell people, well, he charging a lot. I'm like, honey, you got an acre. We live in the South. Little boy's charging just the right amount. Stop it. Especially in comparison where people are trying to charge me $200, $300 in Cleveland and Detroit, and I'm like, you just cutting grass? Well, you didn't tell us to cut the leaves. Man, if y'all get the F up out my face with that craziness. Only people that want credit repair are people that want to buy a jet ski with 25% APR. So crazy. Tap in, young brothers. I'm currently working on getting 3 negative counts from... Okay, congrats. I don't even remember. I can't remember. Go back and watch the video. I don't remember. I don't know how many videos I do a day. I'm trying to think like, what? Andre Hatchet. Thank you, brother Hatchet. $14.99 super chat. Appreciate you. Multi-family tech, stocks, rule land, and create cities. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Our family has Zoom meetings on acquiring land and materials. Listen. Okay. Congrats, L. Go ahead and do that channel. You'll have a lot of young men following you. Wealth builder, US credit card guide. Is that what you're talking about? I don't know. Is that what you're talking about? You should take notes when you watch my videos, because I don't know. You know how many videos I do? You know how many things I talk about on here? Sorry, I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm just a busy person who will be, I'll have like 14 calls in a day and be like, huh? Did I talk to you about it? I don't know. What's up? Thanks, Nick Taylor. Thanks for dropping by. We don't even live on 75% of the land in the United States. We really don't. There are whole patches of land that are empty. And there's been people been buying like little ghost towns, ghost mining towns. That's actually been pretty interesting for me to watch on Instagram. But yeah, but there's all little towns that have like disappeared and gone the way of the dodo bird. Thank you so much. Unapologetically Morgan. I don't know how to say that. That's how I work with my contractor. He gets the supplies and he gets paid when 50% of the work is done. Yeah, it's really hard. I've always heard 50% down was common in contracting. That's a scam, baby. Let me tell you, scam. I need 50% down. Hell no. Hell no. You don't even get 50% down when you go get a loan at the bank. You get 25%. Then you have pictures and documentation of your permits, all your stuff. Then you get more draw. They don't even do that. Listen, they don't even do that there. And I know the cost of stuff at this point. Now I'm like, that don't cost that much. That don't cost that much. That just costs you time. That costs you a couple hours. Joe Rogan paid $14 million for his home, and I didn't even see one shot of his server room. Yeah. Joe Rogan don't care. 300, yes, 300. 300 to rake leaves. And I'm like, didn't even rake the leaves. Was acting like, oh, you didn't tell us that. Well, what the hell would we want with a giant tree crapping leaves all over the back? We just want you to run them over with the lawnmower? That's crazy. Nick Taylor, thanks for $10 super chat. I had to fire my gardener and hire another. He was salty. Listen. I know today's workers, you have to write it down for them and be specific because the majority of them have horrible concentration skills. I mean, shit, it's not that hard to understand rake leaves. I thought it would be easier. China did snap up a bunch in from Virginia to South Carolina. I would say about I think it's 1 billion in farms. But we still have tons. Right now, Europe is trying to figure out how to buy some more of the farms in the Midwest. Q, make it happen. You're on fire, Erica. I've been eating up your content, literally watching it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Rick Ross just bought 87 acres in Georgia for $1 million. And you know what, Miss Curly? Here's the crazy part. People were complaining that he paid too much. They're like, he got ripped off. I'm like, can y'all not be haters for every damn thing? Just hate on everything. Just can't have one day where there's some kind of joy for anything. Well, he overpaid. According to who? Was you out there buying 87 acres? I mean, at the end of the day, you know, paying $3,000 for 87 acres is not common anymore in a lot of places. It's closer to the 7,000 to 10,000 acre. Denison Construction Service. I guess I'm a scam because I always ask for 50%. It's a huge contract, then it goes to 20-25%. Well, that's what I mean, like huge contracts. People were talking about, if you're talking about, and she's talking about in Detroit, Denison Construction Services is an award-winning construction service, and she's working in a city where you have major rehabs out there. I'm talking about a mom and pop who have a $6,000 kitchen renovation, and people are trying to basically get all the money up front, and that's happened often. It more than common. It happens often where they're trying to get people. In Detroit, you could ask for 50% because you're already doing a whole renovation. You're talking about ripping the walls out to everything. But in Texas, it's 25%. There's some people who have asked for more, but most people I've talked to in Texas, it's 25%. So again, different cities, different strokes. But again, major construction, like redoing a whole interior of a house, they snapped up Detroit years ago. I spoke to a real estate agent. They're buying subdivisions and sending students over here to learn. Yes, but you have that also going on in Dallas. On the outskirts of Dallas, I think it's in Irving. No, not Irving. Irving has the Muslim issue. Irving, basically, their mayor lost her job because she was addressing the Muslim issue they were having there. They had a couple of what they would call compounds. Now, y'all can go look this up. Y'all don't have to take my word on it. If you go Google compounds in Texas, it'll show you about a bunch of them near Dallas, the east of Texas, that are Chinese related. Like, you know, for the definition of compound means, you know, really not a lot of interaction with the city. You know, kids are there, but they don't really interact with the town. So you can go look up compounds in Texas and compounds in the United States. It's a lot more than you think. People are in little communities. There's even a guy here on YouTube. Do you know what I'm talking about? The pastor. He's got the nice beard. He's muscular, black guy. He's in Georgia. Like, he actually showed them cutting up chicken the other day, and I got nervous. It was literally like women in like Mennonite skirts. It was like literally 30 women cutting up chicken and preparing for the winter in Mennonite skirts. I was like, oh, he's serious. They have an actual compound in Georgia, or a village as he calls it. It's a village, and he's on YouTube with lots of followers. Just saying. Georgia's the epicenter of $5 mansions that have foreclosure rates like Vegas. Hey. When the Japanese get back in the market, then maybe, yeah. 87 acres is a deal ATL. He can develop 20% into housing and make all the money back. I know, and that's the crazy part. They're like, no one's happy about anything. Tam, for the ones I'm talking about, they don't. If you're actually Googling the compound I'm talking about in China and in East Texas, the reason the town is so agitated about it is because they're like, who got you out here? How'd you get out here? And it's literally came from a bunch of students, exchange students who came to the university, and that by University of North Texas, if you actually go Google it. And their family bought that. Pastor Dow. Yes, that's right. So yeah, Pastor Dow. That's his name. Yeah, it's super interesting. Oh yeah, real estate's been up. So I mean, my at the end of the day, the people in the trades, again, I told you about the major four, and I'll do a whole, series on this, but it's literally tech, trades, managers, and sales. Now, people are like, well, trades, what about healthcare? If you're doing it with your hands, it's a trade. I mean, y'all keep trying to change the definition of what a trade is. You're doing it with your hands, you're doing exchanging labor and services, it's a trade. It's a skill. So, you talk about Pastor Dow? Is he Tennessee? Correct me. But Pastor Dow, I watched it the other day. Managers. So, Andy, if you go on right now on Indeed, the number one hiring job out there is number one is managers and number two is sales. They put them in separate categories because they are. Right now, that's why a lot of people keep getting upset. Like, well, Erica, you said middle managers are getting fired. Yes, in general, middle managers are getting fired. But a company executive is not talking to the everyday staff. It just doesn't happen that way. And I understand why. Because you will get worn the out. Worn the out. People will wear you out with 100 questions that don't got shit to do with nothing, that they could have answered themselves and they could have figured it out along the way themselves. And so they've gotten rid of, like, a middle manager right now that's making 150. They'll get rid of him, hire up one of the people already internally in staff and pay them 130, that or 120 or even less. And that person's like, oh my God, I got a pay raise and I got a status bump. But they're getting less money and more responsibilities. And this happened to two of my friends in Austin who, when she figured out how much she was supposed to be getting making off Glassdoor, the man tried to switch it on her and said, well, you didn't negotiate your pay. So she was like, well, I'm negotiating it now. And he said, well, how about this? We're going to make you manager. And then didn't give her. So if they made her manager, so she should have got like a $60,000 pay raise. She got a $20,000 pay raise. I said, come on now. That you should have been got that in tech. What she does in tech is like a unique thing. But everybody couldn't understand. They're like, why are you getting paid so low in tech? And she's like, I didn't negotiate. He told me I didn't negotiate. And we're like, girl, like, you didn't look on Glassdoor before you went to your job interview. You didn't go review how much you should have been paid for the past 3 years. You've been making 100 grand a year and you were making 60. And now they're going to promote you to manager and only pay you 80. This has been happening. This isn't something new. This is been happening. This has been happening to people. Same thing with everything else. Everything is a negotiation. Negotiate everything. Everything's a negotiation. And some people are just so happy to get a job at this point. That's what's going to happen to a lot of people. They're going to get promoted to managers, but managers is still a very lucrative position. I went on Indeed the other day. There's still manager positions for $192,000 a year. Now you're going to work your ass off, but you'll have that position and that title. Now, my biggest thing about people, once you get to middle management, yes, you're stressed out, but I would take all my money, because you're going to get taxed more, of course. You already know that's about to happen. And you're going to be on a bigger work level schedule. But two, you need to be putting that money away, like, aggressively, because the way they're acting with middle management right now. So when I say sales managers, if you go right now on Indeed and just type in managers, that's like one of the number one hiring positions out there. And then also, if you look up trade, when I mean the word trade, there's so many things fall under trade. Tech is just, I'm putting everything under tech as under tech. Not sales, not managers, tech. That anything related, you can have one job and 100 other jobs are connected to that one job. People will do well just giving 15% to an agent to negotiate their wages. Honestly, yes. Yes, they would. Yeah. Everything's negotiable. But AI is smarter than the middle. Yeah, I mean, people Pastor Dow is my Tennessee homeboy. Woo! But yeah, Pastor Dow, he using that YouTube money. He using it. And he using that YouTube as a good recruitment too. Very good recruitment. I'm gonna just say that. I'm trying to get a raise at your job. Congrats, because it's the time to ask for it. Woo! Make sure you document what you do heavily. You have put a portfolio on what you do. So that's basically my little 2 cents for tonight. Y'all will probably see most of all December. I'll be bringing on everybody who has been previously on the channel. It's an open invitation for 31 days of Christmas giveaways. We'll be having some of our old guests on, and then most of November is all Gratitude November and where we're going in 2020 November. And so y'all see a lot of good videos on that, a lot of pre-recorded stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'll just say YouTube is a great recruitment tool. You know, late night commercials. If you want to be rich, boy, I can say so much stuff. But if you want to be like rich, late night TV sales. I see so many people buy stuff that I've never even heard of. Went by my aunt's house the other day and was like, "You bought this? What is this? Where'd you see this?" I saw it on QTV or whatever that really nice sales channel is. But yeah, if you want to transition and change your life, this is the year to do it. If you want to get into real estate, this is the year to do it. I know everybody's telling you to wait for the fall. I remember one of our friends listening to Glenn Beck, was listening hard to Glenn Beck in 2008, 2009. He had an opportunity to buy 2 houses for like $20K. These old houses, because they were just like, it was crazy. He did not buy them. Those same houses are $120,000 right now. And they weren't in bad condition. It was just literally this free-for-all of Countrywide just decimating North Carolina when they got, because of 2008 recession. And he was like, "Yo, I can use my credit cards to get these." And everybody was like, "No, don't do it, man. Don't do it. You shouldn't do it." And he was watching Glenn Beck, and he was like, "Oh, Glenn Beck said everything's going to fall. Everything's going to fall. I'm not going to do it." His neighbor did do it. And that dude is like living nice. He lives nice in Charlotte. He bought those duplexes in Charlotte when they were $75,000 to $120,000 that are right around the corner from the stadium. Those same duplexes now are going for like $250,000, $285,000. And they ain't even cleaned them up well. So when people sit here and tell you, "You just wait, man. You just wait. Everything's going to fall, man. You just keep on waiting." Okay. All right. You know, you let me know how that go. You let me know how that go. You asked Chip and Joanna Gaines, did they wait? Okay. You let me know. So it's just one of those things, like, you know, but it is one of those things. But I just want you guys to know that. I want you guys to have a good night. This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. I may take this video down. I don't even know. But I'm going to probably put it on the email list for y'all to check it out. So look, have a good, safe night. Don't be out here in these 50 people house parties getting sick. And I hope to see you guys on Monday or Tuesday. I don't know. I'm thinking of doing an election day video. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be settled that day anyway. I tried to go book a flight to come back to Austin around that day, and all of a sudden the flight prices are all of a sudden real crazy. It's kind of creepy. So all right, you guys, later.